We've all been there, right? On one side of the desk or the other. It's that moment when someone brings up an upgrade. It can feel tense, a little bit like a sales pitch. But what if I told you that conversation, if you handle it right, is actually a masterclass in building trust? Okay, let's dive into this and figure out how to turn that dreaded talk into a genuine solution.
So let's just get it out there. Why do these talks feel so awkward? It's a feeling we all know. Doesn't matter if you're talking about a new phone, a car, or in this case, a piece of health technology. There's this immediate wall that just seems to go up. Let's break down exactly why that happens.
See, here's the problem. On one side, the patient hears a criticism. They hear you need to spend more money, and what you have right now just isn't good enough. It feels like a judgment. But on the other side, the provider thinks they're communicating an opportunity. They mean to say, hey, there's a better solution available now, and technology has really improved your options. That huge gap between the perceived judgment and the intended opportunity, well, that's where trust completely falls apart.
So what's the real conversation killer here? Turns out, there's one single fundamental mistake that can derail this whole process before it even gets started, and we're about to uncover it.
Okay, so what is it? What is that number one reason? I'll tell you right now, it's probably not what you're thinking. It's not about some slick sales technique or some magic phrase you're supposed to say. It's something much deeper, something that happens long before that upgrade talk is even on the calendar.
Let's just look at a typical journey, right? In year one, a patient gets their initial device. They use it for a few years, everything's going fine, and then bam! Around year 4, it's time for that upgrade talk. Now, most people would assume the problem happens right there at that year 4 meeting. But that's not it at all.
And here it is. The mistake isn't made during the upgrade talk. It's made years earlier, right here, at the very first appointment. The real failure is not setting the expectation from day one that this technology evolves, just like a smartphone. Think about it. Nobody's surprised when a new iPhone comes out. By not framing future upgrades as a normal, expected part of the journey, the conversation years later feels like a surprise attack, a sales pitch, instead of just a planned check-in. So if the problem starts years earlier, the solution has to start with us. Not with a script, not with a tactic, but with our own mindset. Because honestly, without the right internal belief in what you're doing, no technique or conversational framework is ever going to feel authentic.
This mindset really comes down to 3 key things. First, you have to have genuine confidence. If you don't truly believe the upgrade is a huge improvement, they're never going to believe it either. Second, you have to stop prejudging. Your job is to present the best clinical solution, period, not to make assumptions about their bank account. And third, and this one is where you really forge that trust, you have to prove you've squeezed every last drop of performance out of their current tech first. That shows you they're advocate, not just trying to sell them something.
Okay, so once that mindset is locked in, then we can build on it with a practical framework. This is how you take that internal belief and turn it into a real conversation that's built on trust, not on tension.
Here's the roadmap. Step 1, the opener, is all about validating their current experience. What's working for them? Step 2, you build a bridge to the future, introducing the idea that, hey, technology has moved on since they got their device. Step 3 is so important. You make it personal. You connect those tech advancements directly to their specific life and challenges. Only then, at step 4, do you introduce the opportunity. Step 5 is for addressing concerns, giving them all the space they need to ask questions. And finally, you close with the most powerful tool in your arsenal, the Hear for Yourself demo.
And this is how you make those benefits personal. It's all about translating the tech features into real-life outcomes. So you don't talk about processing speed, you talk about feeling less tired at the end of the day, because listening isn't such a strain. You don't mention noise reduction algorithms, you explain how it helps you hear a friend's voice clearly in a noisy cafe. You always focus on the why for them, not the what of the tech.
This is the perfect analogy from when a patient asks, but is it really that different? Comparing it to a 5-year-old computer versus a new one, that clicks instantly. Everybody gets that feeling, that huge leap in speed and capability. It totally reframes the conversation from some minor tweak to a major evolution in performance.
All right, we've built the foundation of trust. We've explained the value in a personal way. Now comes the most critical step. This is the one that turns all this talk into something they can actually feel. It's time to go from theory to reality.
And that step is the demo. Let me be really clear about this. This isn't just a helpful suggestion. It's the non-negotiable part of this whole process. And why? Because a demo is the only thing that can take all those benefits we talked about and make them completely real and undeniable.
Because at the end of the day, you can explain the benefits until you're blue in the face, but words can only do so much. Nothing is more powerful than direct experience. Letting someone actually hear the difference for themselves can take them from skeptical to wow in a matter of seconds.
And that really brings us to the core of it all. This whole framework is about shifting from talking about features to demonstrating value, from selling something to solving a problem. So the question I want to leave you with is this: where in your own life, whether it's at work or at home, could focusing on the true value for the other person, instead of just the features of your idea, completely change the entire conversation?